Hello, viewers and listeners. We welcome you to another episode of Changepreneurs. We are a group of coaches who try to bring conversations that spark change. Co hosting this episode with me is Satish, another coach and a facilitator, among others. Our guest for today is Mr. Sunil Koshy. He's an award winning composer, musician, and academician, among others. So, he is the co founder of Mug2Mike. It is a platform for amateur singers, and he's, if I just have to say in a short sentence, Sunil has collaborated with stalwarts like Hariharan and I think Chitra Ma, then Kumar Sanu. He's performed at so many places across the world. I must say Dubai, India, and among so many other places. And so he also participates regularly at IIM, IASEs, and he gives lots of programs over there. He's also associated with Nimhans and gives therapy sessions. If I go on, I'm never going to stop. So I'm going to, let Sunil start this conversation. Sunil, welcome. And first and foremost, I'm just curious. You were a corporate person, so you were working with Intel. So how did you just quit and come into music? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here on the podcast on Changepreneurs. Thank you, Vanita and Satish, for the wonderful invite, and um, lucky to consider myself, like a changepreneur, or that you have considered me a changepreneur. So so IT happened, but music was always something that I wanted to do. Probably naturally also, because right from as a kid I used to sing, loved music, and music always did something to me, so it got most of my attention. So when when a song is playing at home, I would, all my attention is on the music, so much that even when to wake me up, my father used to play the tape recorder. So if a song is playing, I couldn't sleep any longer. I would just get up. And then much later, I realized the power of music on our brain, and the way we think and what it can do to us to change our mood and all that. But then back then, it was just that I was drawn towards music so much, and then I seemed to have some natural talent to sing, and that's how it all started. Though I professionally, of course, most parents would want their children to pick up a profession. Those days, either doctor or engineer. And then we are, as a family, we are surrounded by doctors. Both my elder brothers are doctors. Even my wife's family, her parents are doctors. But then I did engineering, and then at a point, not just at one point, multiple points. So when I was working for a company called Intel, is when I took a break to learn music full time, kind of a sabbatical. I took a break from my IT career. I went to Chennai to learn music for about 3 years, and then I got back.
Sunil, you know, another question. I'm just thinking like, uh, I know that you had mentioned that maybe 2 months into your marriage, you quit your role at the organization and you took up music full time. So, was this planned, or what was the impact? What changed emotionally and also in the relationship? What happened?
So I must give, I think, all credit to my wife, Archana, of course, for being very supportive and So she's also a very creative person, first of all. In fact, when we decided to get married, we were actually colleagues. We met in a company, Unisys, where we were colleagues, and then later on I moved to another company. She was in another company, and then she, in fact, quit her corporate job before we got married. So, so she asked me, I want to. I said, yeah. I mean, I think it's important to feel happy and do what you want, take time, and then decide maybe later. And then we got married, and it was on the 50th day after we got married that we started From Mug to Mike. So, so even though I had this in my mind, so she had to come for this to happen, because she puts in a method to the madness that I have. So I'm like very messy and disorganized, wanting to do 100 things at a time, which is not practical. But then she will say, no, why do you want to do this? Or let's do this first, and then you do this second. So that had to happen. And even to start From Mug to Mike, I said, let's do this. Even the name happened over tea, and we just thought, what do we call it? Something fun. So we thought, okay, it should be a platform for anybody who loves to sing, because we saw people wanting to sing, but they've not learned music, and probably there was no platform for the amateur or the bathroom singers. Music learning was mostly for people who are good, and it seemed to be a very competitive space. And then when we started, and yeah, you're right. A few months after we got married, I decided to jump in full time, and we said, let's give it all we have and see where it goes. Of course, we had very surprised reactions, shocked reactions from our parents and people around us, I think. So the first lesson is that you go with what you want to. People will call you crazy, foolish, and all sorts of things. So when things work, people will say, wow. When things didn't work, they'll say, see, I knew it wouldn't work. When it works, they say, you're lucky. Wow. You're lucky. But for that luck, you would have had to work hard and face the so-called rejections or disappointments. But I think it's all part of. And when people ask me, how did you decide to quit? So all I say now is that maybe I wasn't intelligent enough to think what could happen. I just wanted to do it, and then did it, I think. There are books which tell you, 10 things to do before you quit your job. So luckily, I didn't read any of those books. just go by. And I strongly believe if you love something and you keep learning, you want to excel. I'm not talking of quick success, or I want this milestone 1 2 3 4. It's not like that. It's more about you're really wanting to contribute in a genuine way, and you really want to excel in what you're trying to give. I think then things will follow, opportunities will come. You will find new things, new ways to contribute, and eventually make your presence felt. I strongly believe in that.
Fantastic. Wonderful, Sunil. Thanks for sharing. I can
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
relate with whatever that you shared, because a couple of years ago, I was in a similar space of leaving a job. And
Wow,
almost 13, 14 years into the marriage, I knew how difficult it was to convince parents and relatives and everybody.
absolutely.
And to be honest with you all, I didn't actually know what I would do after leaving the job. Just that I had to take the plunge and spend some time alone with myself to understand what I can do. So I'm curious to find out, Sunil, can you share a little bit about your childhood? Uh, where were you born? Where you grew up? Any interesting stories from your childhood, please?
Sure, lots. So I was born and raised in Abu Dhabi, UAE, capital
Mhm.
of UAE. And so all my schooling till my 12th standard, we were in Abu Dhabi, my parents and uh, my brothers, and we were all there. I was a good student. Yeah. I've topped my exams and all. My wife is surprised when we go back to our school alumni and the teachers praise. So of course there have been interesting experiences. I love to sing as a child, and like I just mentioned earlier, I was on an occasion, a public function, that somebody asked me to sing, and I just walked up to this stage and sang. My parents say I was about 2.5 years old. I don't have memories of that, but then I remember loving to sing and people being appreciative, saying that okay, he's naturally talented and all that. Though I did not get an opportunity to learn music formally, there was one teacher from whom I started learning, and the teacher said, "Your voice is not good." So that is one interesting experience. Of course, very demotivating that time when your teacher tells you that you're not good, your voice is not good. But then I think the best thing that happened was my dad said, if the teacher says your voice is not good, you stop learning from him. So I think that that was a great thing. Instead of discouraging me from singing, he said you stop learning. So I think that parenting, as parents, they've always encouraged, and they found opportunities for me to perform, and I started winning a lot of competitions in school, different public platforms. I started performing in social. We used to have this Indian social center and all that. So those are pretty active there, because that's the space where Indians can come together and feel. Indians abroad feel, they miss India much more, and they celebrate all these occasions much more, because that's the only place where they get to feel Indian. And so there's a lot of cultural events that happen. I used to participate in a lot of them, though the formal learning started only maybe towards the end of my engineering studies, which I did in Belgaum, and later after I started working when I came to Bangalore. It's a bit of my, yeah.
Sorry, I was just curious. You said you learned music later in life after maybe your graduation, something
Bit
like
of
that.
engineering, and yeah. And
So,
after I started working is when I felt, okay, now I can learn. And I was in Bangalore, and it was like a kid in a, in a wonderland. And now you're earning your own money. You can go learn what you want. And I actually compensated for not having learned by going to more than 80, 100 teachers. It looks like, really, did that happen? But it was like that. I would go to attend a workshop in Bombay, meet a voice guru in Chennai, attend concert here, there. It was like, because it's your money. You're studying to earn, and then so I've spent all my money on music, cassettes, CDs, books. I also love reading. So,
so,
but the learning actually happened after I started working.
so just curious. I mean, where did you get the confidence from? Is that the confidence was that you have learned under say 80 different people, or that you have a voice coach or something like that, or it was just that blind faith that made you to take that deep plunge?
Like I said, it was not just one switch. When I was working for Intel is when I decided to take a break and then go learn music full time. After I started working, I started learning, but then I would go to a guru, and then the demands of an IT job, right? The whole day you're at office, then you come back, you're really exhausted. But unless you really practice the art, unless you practice what the guru has taught you, you spend a few hours, you don't really improve, get better. So I started feeling very guilty that I'm not making use of my learnings. And then I said, I'd read of all these musicians going to a gurukul, you abandon everything and then go in search of a guru. So a story, something like that. Now it's a story like that. I went to Chennai. I lived in with a guru for a few years. So all I did was practice music, learn. I would wake up in the morning, at 4 o'clock, practice, go for my walk, come have my breakfast, again practice. So it is not even easy when you have the whole day to sit and practice, and especially when you've quit a regular full-time paying job, there's no end of the month SMS that says your salary is credited. You're only spending. So I was spending from whatever little I had saved, and of course you feel good that you're spending time learning, practicing, but then there's that insecurity which looms. And musicians in Chennai would ask, are you crazy? Yeah. Musicians here are struggling to make money, and then IT job is all comfortable. Why do you want to do this? But then so that was one break, and then I got back when I ran out of some savings and all that. I decided, I came back. I again worked for HP. I was got to work in good companies, and there was also a niche area in computer science that I worked on, compiler design and coding, which also helped me to get back because there were a few people who had work experience in that area. So when I came back, then it was like a next phase, because now I had some confidence that so if I have to get into music, I should be confident that okay, I've learned something. Or of course, learning is never ending. I'm still learning. But then you know that okay, now you know something, and then that is when I started associating with film people, assisting film music directors, trying to release my own music videos, albums. So that was the second phase where I started balancing my IT job and trying to do something, creating my own music, working with films and all that. That was the second phase. And then was when I switched and got into music full time. That happened later.
Sunil, I have a couple of interesting questions here. First time when you left to go and pursue music full time, did you have an ambition at that point in time as to you want to get to this level of music? And two, again, you rejoined work into Intel. And how much time did you take again to leave completely uh, your corporate career for good?
So I left, I was at Intel when I left and went to the Gurukula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Intel was then like the best job I could get because our first company was a smaller company, though I got to work on good stuff. Then Intel, and then from Intel I decided to shift. Then the aim was only to learn. So surprisingly, I think it was good. I was very clear. I did not look for any opportunities there. My aim was only that I should learn. I did not go approach music directors. I didn't do anything like that. Now, when I look back, I think that was a good decision. So I focused only on learning. I did not have any end goal also that, okay, at this point I'll come back, and or will I ever come back to IT? It was like just like a nomad. So it's a good stuff for a story. But practically it's not easy, no? If you have a loan or if you have EMIs and all that.
right.
So that is very difficult. And the second time, by then, of course, I had done some work. When I got back into HP, and then I worked for HP. Then Unisys. Unisys is where I worked. I mean, I met my would-be wife Archana, so we were colleagues there. And and after that is when I also released a complete full-fledged solo music project of mine, which was called Reboot. It was not the typical album. It was called an audio film. Okay, audio film means it is only audio, but the whole album tells you a story. It has 6 songs, and why it's called Reboot? Because it's the life of a techie. So not just my story, probably any corporate or techie. So the 6 songs marked 6 phases in life of a techie or corporate. So it's called Reboot. And through the project, I got to collaborate with some of the best musicians who worked with A.R. Rahman, Ilayaraja, worked with Chitra ma'am's studio. So a lot of the musicians, fraternity, circle, building contacts, understanding how it is to work with them. A lot of that happened. That project took a lot of time. And then that project that gave me an award. I won the Kannada International Music Award for Best Singer in Non-Film category, which was a big thing. I didn't expect to get, because there were very big names who were shortlisted nominees. And we had just got married and we went to the award event. In fact, I said, if I win the award, I may have to say 2 lines in Kannada. I was asking my wife, tell me, what. And then I thought, why bother? Generally, if you're winning an award, they would have told you earlier. So I said, it's okay, I'll just go. At least all the nominees were interviewed and all, so I was happy with that. And then when they announced, for my album, the lyricist, the music director, and the singer were all nominated. And then they first announced for the lyricist, he didn't get. Then the music director, so we were expecting that they would win. They also didn't get. Then the best singer they announced, and so they said Sunil, and I was like, for a second. Then I realized I was the only Sunil, and then I walked up. Though there were some other very big names who were nominees, and then I just spoke something. And came. So that.
You remember anything that you said on stage?
Yeah, I said Dhanyavadagalu in Kannada. Dhanyavada, and I said it's a huge honor, because when you're in the process of making this album, it's a huge time and money investment, and you don't know, there's no end. And creative process is like that, because we went on and on. We went to Chennai to record. Keith Peters, who plays bass guitar for A.R. Rahman, who's played right from Roja. These are all iconic names you've heard. Maxwell, who plays trumpet for Ilayaraja. Getting to see them, recording in Chitra ma'am's studio. I worked with Jayant Kaikini, he's a top lyricist in Kannada, who wrote Mungaru Male, all the big hits. So associating with such big people, it was a huge learning and a very long process. And you also learn the whole life cycle of creating something so big and the end product. So for an artist, even if you write a book or you make a CD, how do you sell? Will people buy? So that's again the other story, the other part that you learn. It's not easy to even market and sell yourself, or even media. Will media really write about you? So initially it was very difficult, even to approach media. But then later on, media, was very kind, especially when we started FromMugtoMike and all. So they're all looking for new ideas. I think that is what we understood. So new ideas, fresh. This album was a fresh idea as such. It was accepted by a lot of media, radio, and this award, of course, gives you that confidence and some kind of presence in the industry. Though it doesn't guarantee you work after that, it is something in your profile. Okay, now if somebody asks you a profile, it's like, okay, award winning. Okay, you won this award. It's there. But then you have to again work. Maybe you have reached, you've upped your game. Now with that, you try to get work.
So I'm just curious about what is this mic to mug to
From
mic?
mug to mic.
Yeah. So is it just for people who cannot, more like bathroom singers, or is it for anyone who's trying to kind of gauge their voice? What is it all about?
Yeah. So, like I said, from mug to mic, the idea came about also because I had this experience of going to a Gurukul and learning full time, practicing. And then when I came back, a lot of folks, my colleagues and all asked, they said, wish I could also do this, wish I could also go. I also love to sing. I love acting. I love this. Wish I could do. I said, then do it, no? So, no, but I have my EMI. I just bought my car. I said, yeah, that is always there. And then, so I realized a lot of people wanted to do this. In fact, most people have deep inside the urge to become a writer or a dancer, painter. I think arts is there. Everybody, you derive so much happiness from uh, doing something related to art. Like Satish said, how he pursued, how he took that courage to do something. It is there inside, but everybody does their 9 to 6, and then they may always be thinking of that. And then is when we realized, of course, there is traditional form of learning, which is, of course, the ultimate. In India, we have Carnatic music in South and Hindustani music learning in the North. But then it is not a way to replace any of that. But we said for people who are wanting to learn, yeah, it is very discouraging because they think Carnatic music, Hindustani music takes so many years. And now people who are working feel, now I cannot learn. But then there is a whole bunch of people who love to sing, but they're not learning. We said, let's create a platform for uh, the so-called bathroom singers. And we actually called it that, a platform for bathroom singers, from mug to mic. And there was no platform for bathroom singers till then. If you ask somebody, they would say, I am a bathroom singer. So we say, oh, then this is for you. If you look at it, bathroom singers are the majority, right? People who are trained or who are good are only the minority. So we said it is the aim of attending these workshops is not to make you a playback singer or to make you a professional singer. It is to make you a better singer. And you sing for the joy of it. And how far you take it, that depends on you. I mean, of course, you have a full-time job. This is for people who are either studying, school, college, or even retired people. So the other thing was, because we said bathroom singers and any age, no bar, we had a lot of retired people walking in. And they would say, it was so heartening to see, because they would say in school, college, parents didn't allow us to learn music because they said, focus on your studies. Then you get married, focus on your job. Then you you have your family, you focus on getting the kids settled. And then they say, now we are retired, and now finally, we have time to do what we like. So that's then we realized we were touching it was like it was a chord that hit with. We could strike a chord with these people, because this is all something that always people wanted to do, and we created these workshop formats, which said you can attend a one-time workshop. Also, the other USP was we did these workshops in a professional recording studio. So that was again something very new. Nobody had done this. Professional recording studios were only for professional singers. Otherwise, you only see on TV that you wear the headphone, singing in front of a mic, a condenser microphone, which is a very different professional microphone. So our workshop was a 4-5 hour package. So you just walk in, and then I give them an overview of singing. It's just like a spark. Give them that spark, and if you get inspired, then you come back. But when we started, we just thought of this one workshop where they also got to record a song. I gave them feedback on what are their strengths and what are their improvement areas, irrespective of what they were. So mostly bathroom singers came, but eventually also trained singers, also singers who have done their masters, music teachers also started attending our workshops. We would ask them, why do you want to come? Because I think the recording in a studio was very new. That was one thing. And also the analysis that I gave, normally singers don't know what are the strengths and improvement areas. They just keep learning. They don't get a sum of what they are good at and what they may need to improve. So these were some of the parameters, and I think this workshop format worked. We had Bangalore Mirror write about us on the first day of our workshop, and then we didn't know how to handle. We just got more than 500 calls in a week. We didn't know how to manage database and nothing of it. We were just learning on the fly. We would scribble some numbers, names, and then we realized, because we had a few hundred people wanting to do our workshops, and then we realized, okay, we'll have to book further slots. and then give them dates. And then we realized, okay, this is something that can develop. Eventually, level 2 of the workshop, level 3, and new ideas, evolved in the process.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Sunil, any interesting successful stories of the participants who attended your workshops?
Yeah. So, like I said, these are all mostly full-time professionals. They don't really intend to become professional singers. And when people ask also, can I become? So I tell them, see, this is not to make you a professional singer or a playback singer, because that needs a lot more commitment and a lot more investment in terms of time and learning. But then, yes, we have had success stories. One, in terms of our workshops, we started doing a level 2 and level 3. On the level 3, every participant gets to perform on a public stage. So that was a big thing, because a lot of people, from being total bathroom singers, in a span of 3-4 months, they get to record in a studio, and they get to also perform on stage. And we would invite chief guests from, say, music industry, film industry, media industry. So it is directly a platform where you get exposure. If you're good, you may get some kind of an opportunity. And we had some kind of radio station collaborations where some of our students got to sing jingles at the radio, like popular radio stations. So those were some milestones. And then one of our singers actually sang an original song with Kumar Sanu. So that was a big milestone. Her name is Nidhi Srivastava, and she's a regular corporate, very top management with the corporate, and very busy professional. But like I said, a lot of these busy professionals, but they've always wanted to do music. It's there deep inside. So however busy they are, they make some time every week, every month, to come attend our workshops, to learn. And we this was an original song that was co-composed by me and another musician in Bombay, and we recorded Kumar Sanuji in his studio in Bombay. That was a big experience. Similarly, a lot of other singers have also released their original music. I'm not talking of existing cover songs. These are original songs. So we have another dentist. He's a dentist by profession, Dr. Jay Ganesh. He runs his own clinic, but he recorded his original devotional song, which was recorded at K.S. Chitra Madam's studio in Chennai.
Wow.
And with musicians who have played for Rahman, the santur player who played for Rahman in Munbeva, and the tabla player who plays for Ilayaraja Rahman. So for a common man to get to at an industry level, we have recorded many students in Hariharan Sir's studio in Bombay. So to get to work with, say, the sound engineer, recording engineer of, say, Hariharan Sir or Chitra ma'am, it's a big thing, no? In a way, we were also bridging the gap between the common man and the music industry.
Right.
Normally, it's a big gap, no? A normal man never gets to. We don't even know how songs are recorded or what happens there. So for the common man, we were bringing them there, taking them to the professional music circuit, and also musicians who play for, like I said, the biggest composers. And in a way, we were also contributing to the music industry's revenue, because when we book studio, when we give work to artists, it's in a way business. It's a collaboration. So it was a new space that we found. So these are some of the success stories I can think of. Of course, there have been many. Yeah. Yes, Satish.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question there. You said that you worked closely with some of the legends in the industry, right? So when you sit shoulder to shoulder with them and work very, very closely with them, any interesting experiences from the lives of these legends that you've had?
So many. In fact, the biggest lessons have come from working with legends like K.S. Chitra and Hariharan sir. So very recently, just last week, in fact, this time last week I was with Hariharan sir in his studio in Bombay. So though of course we have worked with him even 10 years back, where we collaborated, we did a workshop with Hariharan sir. What I've seen is that some qualities are amazing, which as amateurs or people just like that don't do, because I think most people want success quickly, shortcut. We are always looking at reels, you know, to quickly sing like Asha Bhosle, ma'am, or you know, in sing and become a star, or quick. What is a quick way to become famous and all that? But what you see is that there is no, and you also see that normally people are not wanting to learn and go through that grill. But even with somebody like Chitra ma'am, what was very humbling is that she comes so prepared and she's so humble, down to earth. She has sung a song which I composed and we did a duet. It was for a Kannada movie, and she was so humble. She would say, is this correct, Sunil? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like, ma'am, I just touched her feet. I said, ma'am, I don't know anything. I mean, I'm just blessed that you've given me an opportunity to. And she said, no, you're the music director. You should tell if you like this, if you don't like this. So there's a huge responsibility they put. And even with many other singers, I've seen that if they go wrong, they're like, can you please correct me? Is this right? How is it? Can you tell me? It's very embarrassing. But then you see that they are okay because they know that they are students. And then if there is a high pitch portion, they will stop and say, let me just warm up a bit. I think I will. But I think amateurs feel bad. They're like, no, why do I need to practice? Or when we go wrong, we tend to blame it on somebody else, saying, oh, the sound system is not good or the musician is not good. But they are willing to practice again and again. I've seen these legends practice if it's for a stage show or a recording. I've seen them practice again and again, just like a child. Even if it's their own song, which they have sung maybe 10, 20 years ago, an amateur will just pick the mic and say, hey, I can sing it. But they are willing to practice again and again. I've assisted SPB sir. I've been part of Dr. Balamurali Krishna sir's birthday celebration, where we all performed, a few of us performed at his birthday. We sang his compositions. They're so down to earth. They have no air absolutely about themselves, and they're always wanting to learn. They're very kind in correcting. We also did workshops with Hariharan sir and Chitra ma'am for the common through our FromMugtoMike label. So they would listen to every participant so patiently, not criticize. They would not criticize. That was so great to see. It's very easy to just criticize. People who don't know anything criticizing, "Nahi, sur theek nahi hai, ye kya ga rahe ho?" Never like that. So they would only encourage, saying, you can learn. Oh, you've got a good voice. So they look at the good thing that is in a person. And I think that is one strong thing that we incorporated in our workshops. We would not allow any participant to criticize any other participant. We say, only if you have something good to tell about somebody. So in the workshop, we would give opportunity for people to jam, just sing. So tell them, look at what is good. There is something good. Maybe the choice of song, the person, or just how happy that person is singing. Forget the sur, tal, pitch, tune, and all that. Person is just enjoying singing that song. That is something good. Sometimes we learn music, but then we forget to enjoy the song when we are performing. You're just so worried about the shruti, talam. Art or singing or music is supposed to be enjoyed. There's a purpose for creating a song or purpose for performing. I think people lose that. So I tell them, look at what is good. Maybe somebody pronounces well, somebody emotes well. It's very easy to criticize and say, oh, she went wrong there. He sang this word wrong. So I say, look at what is good. Only tell me the good things. So this is what I've learned from all the legends. I mean, they're very hardworking, they're very disciplined, promptly on time, and so prepared. Sometimes I feel ashamed. I am not prepared for a recording. But they come with the lyrics printed, so carefully marked like a school student. We wouldn't expect. We may think they just come. No, no, so prepared, so very particular about even the smallest details. Nothing is carelessly done. If it's a language they are not familiar, they make sure the pronunciation is very clear, correct, so that, like you say, God lies in details. I mean, so much more than we would have imagined, and that is why they are there. They are there. I mean, there is so much of preparation and so much care for all that details. So it makes you realize that I have to go back and get better. So these are some of the big lessons. Whenever you think, let me take a shortcut, let me just quickly, why don't I quickly become famous? Why don't I do some gimmick to become popular? Of course, popularity is, it may be just one song, it may be just one event, but then you're always preparing. Even before you're famous, even after that, becoming famous is again relative. No, maybe an award makes you famous. Maybe 100 people know you. Maybe you get featured in Bangalore Times of India or Hindu, Deccan Herald, any newspaper or TV, radio. Maybe 1,000 people know you, but that doesn't mean you stop working. No? So success is not going to your head. That I've seen with all these legends. Chitra ma'am used to say, success, should never go to your head. You always look down, be humble. I think it's very difficult because now when people are looking for instant fame and then they're like, yeah, I cannot go wrong. I cannot be not knowing something, or Satish may know more than me. It's okay. I'm always looking at learning. I think that is very, very, very important, I believe.
Just a couple of interesting reflections here. One, when somebody like SPB goes on stage and sings, it looks effortless, right? Now I understand what is the effort behind all this these guys are doing.
Absolutely.
And also seeing the good in everything. When the society is programmed to see the negative side of things of people, seeing the good in everything, that is very, very profound. Thanks for sharing this, Sunil.
Thank you.
Over
I
to you,
think,
Vanita.
yeah, we are all surrounded by a lot of criticism, negativity. People are very quick to criticize, but then to remain balanced and still see the good in people, and also the respect they give people. SPB sir would always call everyone sir. Just to call me sir, like, I don't know what to say. He says, I don't know anything. It's all practice, sir. It is all hard work. Very simple. Put it so simple. Then you realize, it's very simple. It's just that you practice. You just keep doing and respecting everyone. Nowadays you see people may just say, yeah, hey. If you're big, then they respect you. If you're not, then they treat everyone with. Even if it's a newcomer, SPB sir has told, every song of mine, I'm like, it's like my first song. He would write down the lyrics, the music director, the lyricist, so so nicely, so well prepared. I think that preparation and that constant attitude to learn and respecting people, I think there's no two ways about that. You cannot just behave how you want. I think it comes, people ask, how do you develop that? How do you develop your contacts? How do you develop? You just keep doing. I mean, it'll all follow your fame, your contacts, your everything. And naturally, when you're learning, you will become humble. Because only when you think, now I know, is when you stop being humble. No?
Right.
When you're always learning, you're always thinking, how can I get better? Oh, you're always wanting to go back and work. So I think that is important. Of course, showcasing is important for artists. So I tell them three things. One is learning, practicing, and showcasing. It should keep going on. Without learning, if you only showcase, it's like you're only trying to put reels, you're trying to put out some content. But then where's the learning? So if you're constantly learning, learning is not enough. You have to again put it to practice. So what your teacher teaches you, you have to put it to practice. That is when you evolve as an artist or as a singer. And then only when you showcase is when sometimes you're not confident. I know a lot of people who are really good, but then they're not confident because they feel, what will people say? Oh, I'm not as good as. So I tell them, no, there are always people who will criticize you, who will appreciate you. People appreciate, criticize even the biggest of people. So it's okay. I mean, for me, the only thing is my next work should be better than what I did before. I should be better than myself. Each time I do a song or I perform, I should have put in a little more effort. So I feel okay. I feel good that I've got a little better. People will criticize. There have been many occasions when we started from FromMugtoMike. They were like, "What is this?" Something. Or when you make a song, okay, what does he know? I think that happens for everybody. So being bold also in a way to present what you know is very important.
Sunil, that was phenomenal. I mean, to me, the main reflection from all that was, uh, you know, constant learning. So the discipline and the constant self improvement is the key to remain at the top. So that is what you have noticed. And I'm just thinking, you have worked with all the stalwarts, all the so-called music emperors and empress were there, and you have parallelly also tried to contribute to the society. So tell us more about how your workshop at Nimhans, or what made you start that, and how is it going about?
Right. Thanks, Vanita, for that question. So I strongly believe, in fact, both my wife Archana and me, that music, of course, is for entertainment. But then, if you look at music in our lives, I always talk about this. See, the first song that everybody has heard is probably the mother's lullaby, right? Yeah. So the mother does not say, I cannot sing, I'll not sing. I'll just put a song. The child needs that mother's voice. Whether it's a good voice, mother does not think, is my voice good? Oh, I'm not in pitch, I'm not in talam. No, just there's some music like sound. So I believe music is a very powerful way to communicate. So mother singing, that is important. Is baby cannot sleep without mother's voice in that tune. Similarly for prayers. So I'm talking of music apart from the regular mainstream film music, entertainment, parties. When we pray, you take any form of worship, be it bhajans, be it chanting mantras. Chanting is a very basic form of singing. It is not full-fledged singing. You don't sing, you don't go from so many octaves and all that. You just sing, da, 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 da. You just use 2-3 notes. But also there is a rhythm, there is some tune. Okay. Why does chanting or singing bhajans, singing in choir, carols? So when you talk of festivals, what is it? What is a festival without music? There's Ganesh Chaturthi, you want to listen to Ganesha songs. If there's Patriotic Day, first thing that comes to our mind is, of course, flag hoisting, and then we want to hear patriotic songs. So I think music has a lot of meaning. It's a powerful form of communication. When you sing bhajans, why do people feel close to God? Because that song is either you're thanking God, or you're asking for something, or you're just praising Him. But it is that music that makes you feel enchanted. You feel the divine bliss. So I always believe that music is the most powerful form of communication. And then through FromMugtoMike, we wanted to create original songs. Okay. So we started creating original songs, like Manita mentioned. One such was a song we did for World Mental Health Day. And we were fortunate to be able to collaborate with NIMHANS. We in fact had a doctor, a very senior doctor from NIMHANS, Dr. John P. John, who is also a very good singer, a brilliant singer, who sang the song along with the other people who sang. So most of our these anthems are sung by the common man. So some of them, they're all from FromMugtoMike. Some of them are, some of the students. For every project, we have a different bunch of students. So in this project, Dr. John also joined in. He sang. In fact, even making the lyrics, I sat with him and the lyricist, and we decided that it should be a song which talks about mental health and more the lived experiences of somebody undergoing some sort of mental issue, maybe a problem, or maybe somebody feeling alone, lonely, depressed, different forms, right? So it was also during COVID when we released this song. And COVID, we know, right? We all faced lots of being alone, no work for a lot of people, not able to meet, not able to travel, lots of problems. So through this song, we try to convey lived experiences of somebody going through mental turmoil, maybe depression, or any sort of problem. And we wanted that through the song, people maybe reach out to us, because there is that stigma, no, social stigma of if you have, say, you're depressed, don't tell people. It's not like cough or cold. It's you feel shy or you feel awkward. Now, what will people think of me? But then through this song, we also had the support of a lot of the senior professors in NIMHANS, and in fact, even Norman Sartorius, and he used to be WHO's head of psychiatry world, mental health, and a lot of international figures, national figures, K.S. Chitra ma'am. We had Jawgal Srinath sir supporting the cause. We also had an online discussion. We had a panel discussion where we spoke about role of music and poetry in creating awareness for mental health. So people may think, what can you do by creating a song? Do you really think you can make a difference? I believe even if one person is impacted, even if one person thinks of it and reaches you or thinks about the cause, it may be contributing in some different ways. For example, I can tell you about the song with NIMHANS. We had a lot of known people reach out to us saying, I have somebody in the family, maybe a child, maybe a sibling, who, I think we need some help. Do you know somebody in NIMHANS? So we kind of informally became a bridge. We were only happy to connect them, saying maybe, this is a helpline, or maybe we connect them to the doctor. So maybe they didn't know what to do. So in a way, I think that that song was released by Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, who was the Union Health Minister that time. So this was one such song. Then we did a song for acid attack survivors, where we featured actual acid attack survivors and say, what do acid attack survivors? So we sat with them. We spoke. What do they lose when somebody attacks them for no fault of theirs? They lose their identity. So they just want to be accepted like a normal person. So that is the message we try to convey through the song. And we could screen this song at my alma mater, Kaylee, in Belgaum, and through which they contributed, they gave them some funds which helped them in their surgery, and they also said you can approach us for some surgeries. So I'm saying it's a small ripple. I mean, you don't know where what it may lead to. So we were happy that they could get some fund there. And then we did a World Disability Day anthem in collaboration with IIM Bangalore. Last December, we released it with their diversity and inclusion department. And so creating awareness of, through these songs, we also do some social awareness posts and, events saying, what do, specially able people need? Maybe they need something as simple as a ramp. Many places don't have ramps, so or visually impaired or physical. So many, there are different kinds of special needs. So at least creating an awareness. Many times we don't even think about all that. So Women's Day song we have done. So there have been different. We have done for for Rajotsava, creating an awareness of Karnataka and the different states. So these are anthems that we try to create to bring in some awareness, to send a message out. Because I believe through a song, it is possible to to create some kind of an impression on the common man. This is one such thing. Apart from that,
Phenomenal.
yeah, thank you. Apart from that, we have also started taking music and music engagement events to corporate and colleges also. So it is not really teaching music at these places, but it's like more like stress busters, employee wellness programs. We designed a course, an elective course called Music Communication and Management, which we offered at they're like elective subjects which we offered at some universities and some colleges in Ramaya, Chanakya University, both for MBA students and for undergraduates. So it's more about creating an awareness of music and also why it's important for youngsters, for everybody to have a creative hobby, something like singing or any creative hobby. I think the major reason for depression or boredom is that you don't have something other than your regular studies or work, something interesting to do in life. Of course, partying, traveling, watching movies and all is good. But do you have something that you really want to create? Say you like to write, you're inspired, you see somebody and you see something and you want to write a poem or you want to make a song, you're inspired by something. So I think being able to create something is, if you can pursue, follow some passion like that, I think you'll never be bored. And if you're not bored, I think you don't get depressed because you're always up to something. Your mind is always wanting to create something. You see somebody inspiring, you want to do something, you want to make a song, you want to write something. So it's very
Yeah.
important that
So, now that you're talking, I remember during my internship at Nimhans, so the doctor, he had mentioned to one of the patients who would come there, they were mentioning about just listening to songs or something. And he said, you know what you should do? Not just listen to the song, sing along, use your voice. And that is the way ahead. So what you say makes so much sense, it's music is therapeutic and there is no second you cannot dispute that. And along with that, not just listening, it's important for all of us, I think, at different times in our life to kind of uh, at least sing along or try. It is
absolutely.
therapeutic.
So I don't like to. I think therapy is a very heavy word.
Hmm.
It just gives you happiness, no? See, I'll tell you. Actually, music singing is a lost form. I just believe singing is an extension of the way you speak. Okay, there's some examples that I take. See, now everybody says hello in a very different way. Somebody says hello, yeah, hi, how are you? Somebody says hello, ah, okay, yeah, okay. So how warm you are, how cold you are. Suppose Satish doesn't want to talk to me, he'll say hello, Sunil, yeah, okay, yeah. So I know he is not wanting to continue the conversation, but he'll be hello, hey Sunil, hi, how are you? Then I feel accepted. No, I don't need to see the face, but I can hear that smile. I can feel that smile. I say, hello, hey, when I went there, yeah, it was so good, So your speaking can have even different pitches. In fact, everybody has a different pitch of speaking. So somebody says hello, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, somebody says hello, yeah. Somebody has only one fixed mono, they have just one. That's when the speech becomes very boring. If you look at actors, actors go through voice workshops to sound that interesting, very very dramatic dialogues. That's why we like to watch movies. No, it's very dramatic. Though in real life we may not speak like that, but we like that, the change in pitch, the pause they give, the volume control, the speed. Executive, you speak very fast. When you're bored, when you're tense, you speak slow. So there is so much in speech. So and I see singing, everybody sings. We all sing happy birthday, right? Good or bad, we sing something. We sing happy birthday. We all sing the national anthem. No,
Yes, we do.
we don't say I
Yes.
don't sing. We sing however we can. We sing. So singing is supposed to be something that everybody does. We all sang nursery rhymes. Why were we taught nursery rhymes in tune? Baba black sheep. They could have just taught, no, Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. No, it was taught in a tune and everybody sang. We did not think, oh, his voice is good. No, I am not in this pitch. Even to learn anything set in tune and rhythm is easy to learn. I've known a lot of people who have learned periodic table in a tune.
Interesting.
Formula, yeah, equations in different ragas. I've known people who have done that. So, and something very interesting also, which I tell, I don't know if you know. If you go to the Nobel Prize website, you can see there is a separate tab which says Symphony of Science, which says a lot of Nobel Prize winners were actually musicians.
Interesting.
Yeah. Einstein was a trained violinist, and he also played the piano. In fact, he also called his violin, he called his violin a name. He would call his violin, and his wife said he was always attached to the violin. And when he would be solving some problems, whenever he would get stuck, he would just take the violin and play. He would take the violin and play, and he said, if I was not a physicist, I would have been a musician. So if you see, interestingly, there are patterns in music. So not only Einstein, lot of great scientists. Why talk of only international? In India itself, so Abdul Kalam sir used to play veena.
Veena. And
When the normal folks say, I don't have time for all this. If Abdul Kalam sir had time, Dr. Radhakrishnan, ex-ISRO chairman, who is personally, he's been a great guide and support. So he sings Carnatic music. He's a Kathakali artist. He's been chairman of ISRO, and he's chaired, and he's on so many big bodies internationally. They find time for music. So in music, Einstein apparently said he saw patterns in music which helped him to solve his other problems. So when you learn to play the piano or violin, or when you sing, you use different areas of your brain. It also helps, they say, to coordinate your right and left brain in a very unique way that probably nothing else can do. So when you talk of these benefits, is when people say, oh, then I want to learn music. Okay, if that inspires you, then it's good. But music, for the
Hopefully.
joy of music itself, of course. But there are also a lot of scientific reasons. There's a lot of research, like Vanita said, there is a lot of research. In fact, now psychiatrists, psychologists prescribe people who are depressed, or they tell them, go watch a musical show, go to a painting exhibition. These are normal things that we are supposed to do. But sadly, now it's that mad rush. Everybody is wanting to succeed, be better than the other. And like, oh, music is a waste of time. No, why I don't want to go watch play painting, why should I watch that? You're always looking at some, uh, shortcuts. I can just see it online. Why should I go to a thing? Go experience a play, a drama, the artist, the lighting there, the music, be there. I think these are things that I think a lot of people probably are not doing. Attend a music concert, attend theater, all this has been part of our culture, singing, dance, everybody singing, everybody dancing, not to be a professional, but just through the process, like you say, it's therapeutic. When you dance or when you sing or you write whatever is on your mind. They say, the habit of journaling. So when you write, it may not, maybe you decide to publish it because it's some good value, but I think it's more a form of pouring out yourself. So when I make a song, it's like so much of myself. It's a reflection of, they say, a work of art is a reflection of the artist. So you are pouring out a lot of yourself when you're creating that. So in some way, I think picking up a creative hobby is important for. So these are things that we try to inculcate through our programs at corporate and colleges, bring in an awareness and some kind of inspiration. Sorry if I went
Great work.
way
Fantastic.
off the discussion.
No problem. And this is fantastic, Sunil. And somebody who is listening to this may get inspired to pursue something that they're very passionate about. And that is the intention of such podcast that we are running, right? Somebody listening to someone's story and getting inspired and take an action to change the world. So, Sunil, to make things interesting for the listeners here, I would like you to do 2 minutes of your performance. Anything that's your favorite. That'll be great.
Sure. Can we take a minute break?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just be back. Somebody was just at the door. I'll just.
Yeah.
So far, so good, Vanita.
Fantastic. Now, I'm like, what? The best part was when Sunil spoke, I was thinking, I'm trained vocalist, but then I don't practice it. So that is, now to me, I've been learning, practicing is not so regular. So now it becomes that there are no shortcuts. So it is inspiring. I want to do it once again. So previously it used to be just me and my daughter doing it together. Since she's traveling, so I haven't been doing it. Now I'm going to start again. And I keep telling that she's a better singer, she's a better musician than me. But then I feel, after listening to Sunil, I feel like, where is the comparison? I'm me and she's she. So maybe it's time. It's time. It was very inspiring for me to kind of, it really does make me feel like I have to sing. And even when Sunil just just did that, I was thinking of that. It immediately caught my attention. I thought, oh my god, that is that Kannamma song. Kannamma, Kannamma.
You're singing well. You're singing well. Fantastic. And எனக்கு வந்து just couple of takeaways. Every episode I take away a couple of things. One is seeing good in everything instead of seeing the negative side, seeing the good in everything. And number two is pursue something that you're passionate about. You can find the time if you're really interested.
You need to
It's
make
not
time.
that.
To me, that thing about discipline and constant self-improvement, he was speaking, you know, any
He's back.
stalwart, yeah, all of them. So, hey, we are just doing a background.
We've just giving our reflections so
Hopefully
far.
good things. Hope it's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kandipa.
All good things.
All good things. So please go ahead. You need some
So
sugar.
whenever you're good to go, you can
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
a couple of minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I'll just. You want me to do it continuous, or I'll just sing a few lines and then I can do something else.
Up to you. We will not interrupt in between unless you say something to us. Okay.
All right.
Is it cool?
Yeah, sure. How much more time do we?
After this, we can wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And Vanita, mute yourself until he finishes his performance.
नीले नीले अंबर पर चांद जब आए, प्यार बरसाए, हमको तरसाए, ऐसा कोई साथी हो, ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो, प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए. ഇളയനില ഒഴുകിരതേ இதயம் வரை நரகிறதே, உலா போகும் நேரம் கணா காணுமே, விழா காணுமே வானமே, நிலை நிலை अंबर पर चांद जब आए. ओ ऊंचे ऊंचे पर्वत जब छूमता है अंबर को, प्यासा प्यासा अंबर जब छूमता है सागर को, प्यार से कसने को, बाहों में बसने को, दिल मेरा ललचाए, कोई तो छू जाए, ऐसा कोई साथी हो, ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो, प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए, नीले नीले अंबर पर चांद जब आए, प्यार बरसाए, हमको तरसाए. So these are two of my favorite songs. Of course, one in Tamil and one in Hindi. They have
SPB
tunes.
sir.
SPB sir and Kishore Kumar. Maybe a few lines of Mohammad Rafi sub song. अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं, अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं, अभी अभी तो आई हो, अभी अभी तो, अभी अभी तो आई हो, बहार बन के छाई हो, हवा जरा महक तो ले, नजर जरा बहक तो ले, ये शाम ढल तो ले जरा, ये शाम ढल तो ले जरा, ये दिल संभल तो ले जरा, मैं थोड़ी देर जी तो लूं, नशे के गूंठ पी तो लूं, नशे के गूंठ पी तो लूं, अभी तो कुछ कहा नहीं, अभी तो कुछ सुना नहीं, अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं, हाँ दिल अभी भरा नहीं, नहीं 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 नहीं. Thank you.
Oh, that was such
Thank
a
you for
lovely
this.
one. I'm almost thinking of the black and white movie and just flashed in. What a lovely song and a inspiring one. Sunil,
Absolutely.
it's been such a pleasure, having you here, and we could go
Thank you.
on.
I totally enjoyed. Of course. I mean, podcast. The only thing is, we are time bound. But I hope, like Satish said, I hope people like it. I mean, if they get inspired, well and good. But it's always nice to share something straight from the heart. Nothing, nothing prepared or nothing planned as such. It's just that you asked me something, and I just tell you whatever is there, and then you're inspired to ask something else, and then I'm inspired to tell something more, and it's just an interesting conversation, I think, and that's the whole idea of the Changepreneurs podcast. And thank you for considering me, having me on board this lovely podcast.
Look, Sunil, it's been an honor and privilege to have you on this show.
My pleasure.
And your work is inspiring. More power to you and your team. God bless you. So Sunil, any final thoughts before we close this episode?
Thoughts as in anything specific?
Anything to close? Any message to our audience?
Message, okay. I personally believe the whole idea of having podcasts like this Changepreneur podcast, people just watch, but then there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of thought that goes in, even for you to identify speakers. Like you said, you've had speakers from different backgrounds, people who you think have done something different or who have contributed, or like you said, are creating some form of change. Like, you create that small dent in your own way, which I think somebody should dare to, first of all, dare to do that, create that, because for all that needs is that you believe in yourself. And I think we spoke about that, you believing in yourself no matter what people say, but at the same time you have to be grounded with your homework, your hard work. Of course we need inspiration, but then perspiration is what is most important. And I think these stories are very inspiring. I've seen your podcasts, and I'm somebody who constantly looks for inspiration and lessons, because we somewhere, day-to-day life, you're trying something, then something doesn't work, your energy goes down, and then it is these books or podcasts, or you meet interesting people. So podcasts or books, I think, are a way for you to meet people that otherwise you may not meet in person. Like they say, you surround yourself with interesting people, you become the average of the 5 or 10 people you meet or interact with. So if you cannot meet them, read their books, watch interesting podcasts, videos. It's as good as meeting them. So I think that's a great effort, great thought behind creating this series, and more power to you. And I'm totally honored, pleasure to share so much, uncut and uncensored and straight from the heart. So great job. I'm really happy. Looking forward to many more of your episodes. Wishing you all luck, and continue to inspire so many more, because I think that is definitely the need of the hour. We need to motivate ourselves, push. When somebody is not encouraging, I think we need to keep pushing ourselves. And so it's you're doing a great job in helping people. Can just log in and watch your videos and get charged.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
No,
And for me, Sunil, we have done about 30 to 33 interviews so far since the beginning of this year.
wow,
Every person that we met and interviewed is like reading a book to me.
absolutely.
A person gets good. They say that the average CEO reads about 52 books in a year. For me, I feel like I've already read about 32 books in this year.
No, very true. That's true.
What else can you ask for? Yeah.
No, that's. I think interviewing is a great way of learning yourself. I think that Napoleon Hill interviewed Andrew Carnegie.
Mm.
The what is that Bible? His book, Laws of Success.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill's book. So he started by interviewing people like Andrew Carnegie and so many successful people, and then he wrote the book Laws of Success. So reading books is one way. Talking to people. So whenever I meet people, I ask questions. I like to know what they have done, because everybody's life is different, and what you have tried, you could take away lessons quickly. I would like to know more about your work. Of course, we have connected now, I think.
Yes.
Your work with Nimhans, Vanita, and Satish's journey, and how you all got together.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're all looking forward. So I think since we're in Bangalore, we can actually connect one day, catch up. And
Of course, Satish
yes,
also
Yeah, yeah.
Not
He
very
keeps
far. Yeah,
traveling,
yeah,
so I think we can
You
do
keep
that.
coming Bangalore
yep.
as well? Oh,
I do. I do. Yes.
great.
So, Sunil, thank you really so much.
Thanks a lot.
And just talking about books, just we'll wrap it up with
Oh,
just one
sure, sure, sure.
question.
Favorite.
Uh, is there any book that moved you that you want to recommend to our listeners?
The thousands of books. I think so. I personally like biographies
Hmm.
uh, and lot of authors. I mean, I think every book. So Napoleon Hill is one, of course,
Think and
book
grow
that I
rich.
think and grow rich, and of course, many of his books. A lot of these books I like to uh, keep reading. Go back and keep reading as well. So not just one book, because I keep buying books every week. We There's an interesting story my wife will have to share. when we when we have traveled, we have had to buy separate suitcase only to accommodate the books that we have bought. So so at airports,
Listen.
you cannot resist buying books.
Mm.
So just
Mm.
buy sometime. Bangalore airport we have bought, then Bombay airport we have again bought, then again we have. So we have had to buy a separate suitcase to put all the books together. So I think I just cut across uh, any genre, any kind of. Not when people ask me what kind of book, I think it's difficult to say what kind, but I pick up anything and everything, and biographies, self-help books, interviews, uh, fiction as well, anything, because fiction also is, you know, is what's in somebody's mind, right? So, so it's inspired by their life or what they've seen around.
Wow,
What
fantastic.
are what
What
are
a way
your
to end our show.
what are your any any favorite books?
Yeah, I read something when you spoke about autobiographies. I read autobiography of Lee Iacocca. That was in 2003, 2004 when I was in college. So this one, he was a CEO of Ford Motor Company then,
Right.
and he got fired from Ford, and the Chrysler and Mercedes was in deep trouble, and he revived the whole company and became very very successful. That's one of the very famous autobiographies that MBA students they read.
Oh wow.
So that is something that moved me. And one other book that moved me was The Alchemist,
Oh
which I
yes,
had
yes.
the opportunity
I
to.
just remembered Paulo Coelho.
Mm,
I love
Mm.
all
yeah,
Paulo Coelho books.
yeah. And one particular statement from that book is still staying with me. Anything and everything that happens is for a good reason. So
Right.
I always believe in that. I always live by that.
Yeah. No regrets. Nothing
So
to look back and say,
yeah.
oh, and that
Mm,
whole of universe conspires
correct.
to making
Mm,
what you want happen.
absolutely.
I don't know if we missed out talking about the case study.
Yeah, yeah, we did miss out.
Yeah,
I think many of
yeah.
them, this is what is happening. We keep getting so engrossed talking,
That's
and then
okay.
end of it, someone actually asked, they said, we missed out on a few things. So I think it's
So
time,
there's a
Sunil.
yeah.
I mean, Satish, I think we really have to do part twos of all our guests.
Yeah, yeah.
So that,
Yeah, absolutely. We look
We have
forward
our
to
case
part two,
study.
episode two.
Yeah, case
yeah,
study
Yeah.
published at Harvard and Ivy, which is being
Hmm.
taught at MDI Gurgaon and couple of
oh,
other
okay.
universities, Melville University, Canada. So where we are
Hmm.
invited to share our journey and how we started.
Amazing. Mm.
That's again something interesting, because we are not from an MBA background, but to have MBA students. My dad wanted me to do an MBA, but uh, it's nice when you know, MBA students have case study for us. I mean, on us, so it feels good.
All right, listeners, then that's part two for Changepreneurs.
Yes,
So
and
thank you. Thank you so much, Vanita and Sunil. And listeners, if you liked what you heard in the show, I request you to kindly subscribe to our channel in YouTube and Spotify and Apple, and leave a review if possible. Thank you so much, Sunil, and thank you so much, Vanita.
thank you.
You're phenomenal. Thank you so much.